Hello, my name is John Svek. Welcome to this All 24 video. Today, Coach Waterman and I are joined by a special guest, Coach Darryl Wheeler, who is the kicking coach at Western University. Thanks for being with us, Coach.
Thank you very much. Excited to be here.
All right, so here we are. We're going to talk some kickoff with Coach Darryl Wheeler. So some general terms to get us started on kickoff, Coach.
Yeah, in kickoffs, for me, it's all about establishing momentum in the tone of the game. And it's a tone setter. Whether you're starting off a game, starting off a half, you score a field goal or a touchdown, and you're changing possessions. Is do we have the ability to set the momentum, to set the stage, to show, hey, our athletes are better than your athletes, and do we have the ability of that kicker to put the ball where we want it? It's no good just to smash the ball line, drive it down the middle of the field, and have them return it for a touchdown, right? Can we start flipping the field? I see kickoff as aggressive play, defensive mindset. Can we give our defense room where they could do their thing, right? And can we put the offense and the other team on their toes? You know, if the kickoff is, again, we don't want to cover the 65, can we break down the field and understand our identity, whether a right hash deep right team or boundary team? Are we mixing a few field kicks? Can we execute? Because, yeah, it is good to be able to have some tools where you could throw in a moon shot or a squib here and there, depending on context. But can we execute at a high level, not only in game, but practice? Because I see so many coaches that try to just walk through that practice and do 2 reps in a game, but they're not game speed and they get burned, or the team brings it out to the 45 or midfield. So they're just giving away touchdowns in field position. Can we make sure we replicate that speed during the week, during our preparation, so our guys are flying around in their proper lanes? Do we have lane integrity? Do we have our guys understanding their responsibility? And for a kicker, like punting, can we hit the alley? Whether we're on the right hash, can we hit with height to top of the numbers? You know, good kickers in this league, can we get to the high 50s, 3-4 hang? Can we push the numbers so we can condense the field? Because if we line drive it and they're not going to take a knee in the end zone, then not only, you know, risk for injuries from our guys, it's risk of having a big play and killing momentum for ourselves. So my goal for kickers is, first of all, manage the reps. We're not just kicking off the kickoff and kicking off a million times, working on our steps and our rhythm, whether it's doing, you know, our walk back consistently, doing our rhythm without contact, working on things I call progressions, so they're stepping and just making easy contact. They're doing some full kickoffs, whether it's your right hash, right boundary team, scripted number of kickoffs, so the right side or left side, and making sure that our guys are doing quality reps and not just kicking the kick. And even if they're doing kick returns, same idea, where if you don't have the luxury of having multiple kickers on the roster, is our guy, even though he's doing scout team stuff, is he working on his proper technique? Because, you know, a good kickoff team, you know, you can put the ball inside the 10 and the other team won't get outside the 20, 25. They're going to have to get three or four first downs to flip the field, where it can set the tone to have an aggressive defense, and especially late in the year where the weather's not good, you can have a team on its heels right away. So kickoff for me, just establishing tone and momentum.
Perfect. That sounds great, Coach. Let's get into we have a couple clips here.
Okay, in here, right, it's a little different from like the NFL, 60 yards, U Sports is 65. So it's not a chip shot, but a lot of our guys across the league, they have strong enough legs and rhythm where they should be able to put it inside the 10 with some height consistently, especially early on in the season where there's some humidity, which helps the ball travel. So when you see here as they're going, the get off time's great. So it's important for the special teams unit to work that timing with the kicker. And it's so important for the kicker to have that consistent approach. Because if they're 1-7 one kick, 1-9 one kick, 1-6 the other kick, your guys might go offside, or if they don't go offside, it'll be 5-10 yards behind the ball, meaning that's 5 or 10 yards extra space of the returner. And again, here, Kieran does a good job of stepping through, planning, seeing it, and landing through contact. A lot of guys will land beside the ball. Well, it's like they're putting the brakes on a car or popping up punting. The loser swing, where you have to explode through the ball, land on your kick foot a couple yards past contact to get your hamstring in the back of your body through it. And you see as he swings and makes contact, the ball starts really climbing at 35, 40, 45 yards, starts to fade over direction, make the returner work a bit, catches it about the 7. And now our guys can condense. Now it doesn't give that returner a chance to go to the field and lets our guys do their job. Again, he gets about 10, 15 yards. He's inside the 30. It's going to make that team go a long way to get into plus territory. Does a good job communicating with his team. He's stepping, His approach is consistent, seeing ball, getting wet, turning into contact, falling through, and that's what we want. Eyes are down, left arm coming through, right hip getting through the ball and finishing a swing. And great height, having the returner back up, not giving the returner essentially a two-way go, giving him one chance, and that's only upfield.
And Coach, with regards to the tee setup for the kickers, do you talk to them anything about it's a comfort thing for them, or?
A lot of it is, big thing for the kickers. They shouldn't have to alter too much to the right or left hash. Even their approach on the right, on the left hash, will probably have a little less width than the right hash because they'll have to turn their hips more to the left side of the field. But really, it's their kickoff tee setup shouldn't be that much difference to how they put the ball on the field goals. It should be upright. If kickers prefer it a lot, do tilt it towards right a bit so they can get their foot around the ball a little bit more. But you don't want it tilted so far back up they get under it, or some guys tilt it so far forward they get no lift. They want to be able to cut up third of the way up, so past the white stripes, because a lot of them will get under, they'll stutter, and they'll hit the ball 40 yards, or the loose field position, or they'll just line drive it. So, and ideally where you put it there, that's where you want it. If you can get it there the majority of the time with height, the lanes converge, the first and second levels come in, and they're easy kicks to cover. And for the kicker, coverage purpose-wise, he should just be behind the second wave, about 10 yards or so. He shouldn't be so far behind where it's just him in 65 yards. He should also be able to sneak behind where if that guy gets through the wave, he can finish the play.
That's great. Great stuff. Let's move on to the next one here. Another kickoff to watch.
Again, great timing with the special teams unit. Again, good with the eyes, good with the swing, finishing through contact. Again, right hash, deep right. The team knows their identity, but the important part is the execution. Good teams, the opponents know what they're going to do and still can't stop it. So again, nice push, great hit. And again, with good height, don't have to be necessarily as picky with the location. He drove it 5-10 deep in the end zone. They elected to take it out. They get pinned inside the 10. Now, if he line drive that ball, that guy probably would have got out past 25-30, but because of the loft, he's backing up, and so are the return guys. If their return guys have to back up and reset their depth, that throws off their wedge, and that throws off everything else. So, he did a good job here with a lot of guys, getting a mistake of doing. If they have a win or they have flow, they try to kick it too hard and end up mishitting it. He does a good job of staying patient, staying over, and swinging, and using his body to help that swing happen.
Phenomenal. Let's check it out from the tight. Here we get a good look at it.
Okay. Again, good flow. The guys can anticipate his timing, walking, his steps, and swinging through essentially. And great tuck, great turn with his upper body. Essentially a field goal, kickoff's an elongated field goal. Some guys make the mistake of sprinting into it. You're really walking a couple steps and walking to your field goal approach. That's what he's essentially doing. His plant's the same, his finish is the same, his upper body's the same as field goal, except instead of kicking it to the post, he's kicking it to a landmark. Again, it's trying to split that alley. And with the kickers, I don't expect them to be perfect. I expect them to understand what the responsibilities and goals are, where we want it, and what can we expect for distance-wise, travel-wise, height-wise, and location.
Phenomenal. One more clip to go through here, Coach. Another kickoff.
Again, great timing, right? Great swing, great patience. He's landing about 3 yards past contact on his kick foot, meaning he's finishing his swing, falling forward, right? Again, the top of the alley, top of the numbers, great width with the ball. And again, because of it, the guys can converge, and they're not trying to cover 65, and they can keep their head on a swivel, but they can, condense their lanes down. And again, what this does, it forces that offense to be more conservative and vanilla, and it sets the tone. It sets the tone for the defense. It sets the tone where, the best athletes are out there making a statement. And, he does a good job being consistent with his approach. Every kick looks the same, and that's what you want, especially if it's on the same hash. Do his steps look the same? Does his mannerisms, does contact, right? Is he around the same area? Is one ball going to the 20, one ball's going to the goal line? It's right? If we can build that consistency, our guys can fly around knowing, hey, I'm going to anticipate it's going here, so I can just do my job.
How rare, I mean, do you coach them up to do all three? Or is that pretty tough for them, coach, to get them to do all three?
It is. I think you have some guys that have the ability with, the not only their mental fortitude, but their work ethic and athletic ability. It's getting tougher. We have more and more kids that are transitioning from soccer realm or used to kicking, but they're not, athletes that play receiver, DB. I find the ones that are positional guys that play at their positions and kick can pick it up easier. I just find that punting's the toughest to develop because it's they're catching a ball, catching a snap, placing it, and it's hard. For every 100 good kickers, you'll find a good punter. But I mean, because of the roster size, if you can find a guy that could do all three and have realistic expectations, then that's a huge asset because you save a roster spot where you can have an extra lineman, an extra receiver, an extra tailback, an extra guy in the front seven inside the box. But it's and especially for guys starting out, if a guy struggles, if you have two guys and one's clearly better at one than the other, don't be afraid to dress both because they're likely going to have more of an impact than that 47th or 55th positional guy. If you can find, a guy that has the ability to do all three, it's have them look at the process instead of the numbers. A 42 in one league and another league can look totally different depending on context, game situation, elements. Can our kicker and punter do what's asked, or are they just worried about looking at the numbers? How far is it? What instead of the how? And I think you're able to kind of line spot guys, or you can have a guy come in that can develop and to do all three and start off doing punting or kickoffs and field goals. And I think the best the best guys that were the best specialists in the U Sports this past year got drafted for a reason. And I told coaches, it's not the numbers, are just the numbers, it's the context. What they're asked to do. They're asked to win games, and without them, the teams would have lost probably a couple more games. They're asked to kick under pressure. They're asked to do a lot of things and put it on their shoulders and went out and did it. And I think that's so important and that's so underrated, undervalued. And we're in a stage where some teams want to recruit every year 50, 60, 70, or how many ever guys, or can we have a solid number of guys that we can develop that every day we can be transparent where they are and can we push them and can we put them under pressure and can we see if they can perform. And if you can find a guy with all three, and especially a guy that can make sure you're doing things academically and everything else that could develop, and it's like having a couple of Canadians built into your roster because they're going to win you some games over the course of a season and over the course of their career time and time again. And it's getting them dialed in on the process and getting them dialed in and putting in the work and getting them making sure to know, hey, they're a football player who kicks. You got to be with the guys and doing those little things.